Okay, everyone, we will call to order our special meeting of council and thank everyone for coming. We are meeting today on the unceded traditional territories of the Sechot and Hupachesit First Nations. We do have an agenda in front of us. I also want to note that we have Councillor Deb Haggard participating virtually tonight. So per our bylaws and our procedures bylaw, she will be required to vote out loud for each of the motions that are made tonight. We have an agenda. Are there any late items to add from councillors? Seeing none, any late items from our corporate officer?
No, none for me.
Thank you. Then would somebody like to move approval of our agenda? Moved by Councillor Solda, seconded by Councillor Patola. Seeing no comments on the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried, thank you. And we'll move on to bylaws. So our first item on our agenda tonight is the 2023 to 2027 Financial Plan Bylaw number 5075-2023. This is final adoption. Councillor Solda, would you like to read this motion?
Madam Mayor, oops, sorry, I just moved this mic. Madam Mayor, I move that the City of Port Alberni 2023 to 2027 Financial Plan Bylaw number 5075-2023 be now finally adopted, signed by the Mayor and the Corporate Officer, and numbered 5075.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Solda, seconded by Councillor Patola. Are there comments or questions on final adoption? Okay, seeing none. On the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried, thank you. Before I go on to our tax rates bylaw, which is the next item on our agenda, I'm just going to ask our CAO to provide a bit of an update on our procedures as per our conversation yesterday.
Thank you, and through the chair, I just want to highlight a couple procedural things after we reviewed both tapes and looked back at everything, and just wanted to clarify that when you would like a motion divided or separated, that would just be a motion to divide or separate. It does not need a seconder, and it automatically, if the intent of the motion is not changed, then it would be voted separately, each section of it. If it's a point of order, that's a procedural error or something that happened at that point that you're bringing to the chair's attention, and then the chair rules on it. If the ruling is not agreed upon and somebody has issue with that, they would need a seconder to continue on with that inquiry. And it relates to indecorum on transgressions of the rules of speaking, relates to the priority of business, and is made when undebatable question is immediately pending or involved in the appeal. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, that when a point of order, and the point of order was used right on the second day because it was understood that we were doing something procedurally out of order, and it was sort of illegal, it was a bylaw. So the point of order was the correct tool to use. However, in that circumstance, if it's not going to change the decision by the majority of council, then it can be just noted and we can continue on without rescinding everything. But we did everything, the process we followed is allowed to. It's just that we could have done different avenues for that.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is tax rates bylaw number 5083-2023, and I will go to our Director of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. With the tax rate bylaw, this is purely based on the financial plan and the required amounts that we need to essentially balance the financial plan with taxation. So every year we bring forward the tax rate bylaw. We provide that to council based on what we've approved in the financial plan. This is regulated through the community charter. We have certain deadlines that we have to meet in order to have this in place, noting that it has to be done also by May 15th, before May 15th. The basis of the property tax is based on the BC Assessment revised roll that came out on March 31st. So the values that we see in the tax rate bylaw are reflective of that revised roll that we received. Council has no ability to set specific taxation for specific properties, but it is done by classification. Also within Schedule A, you'll see that the Alberni Clayoquot Regional District and the Regional Hospital District are included in there. These are set at the board table at the ACRD, and we do set these rates through the assessment role that we do receive from BC Assessment. Also with the Vancouver Island Regional Library, that is separated out in 2017, and that is also, it makes up part of the general government amount that we have for taxation, so that's set also by the tax rate in that we're considering today. Other items such as the school district, the municipal finance authority, and the BC assessment, that comes directly through those organizations, and those would be also showing up on the annual tax statement. But beyond that, the rates are there for council to consider today. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Councillor Douglas, would you like to read the first motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that City of Port Alberni tax rates bylaw number 50832023 be now introduced and read a first time.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Solda. Are there questions or comments for our Director of Finance? Seeing none on the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Douglas, if you'd like to continue?
Oh, thank you. I'd like to make a motion that City of Port Alberni tax rates bylaw number 50832023 be read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Solda. Any comments or questions on this one? Seeing none on the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? None opposed. Carried.
And thank you. I'd like to make a motion that City of Port Alberni tax rates bylaw number 50832023 be read a third time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Solda. Seeing no questions or comments on the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Thank you. Just want to note that Councillor Mealy just put on his Bulldogs jersey because, as we know, it's an exciting night tonight for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs. Oh, sorry, Councillor Douglas also representing the Bulldogs tonight. Okay, that is the end of the presentations and bylaws for our meeting this evening. We do have question period, which is an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions of council. Are there any members of the public who would like to ask questions this evening? Okay, then would somebody like to move adjournment? Moved by Councillor Mealy, seconded by Councillor Patola. On the motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried, thank you. And we will be back, of course, for our 6 p.m. Committee of the Whole at 6 p.m.